Hi, welcome to another fanfiction. So this one's a little bit different. I'm not gonna put the text on screen because I suck at editing. So I use like iMovie, the most basic thing ever, and the text always moves and stuff. Because let's be real, I like this. I'm still really new to this, and so I'm just gonna put a picture up and read. Um, so hopefully everyone here likes it because I like this one. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, you should check it out if you haven't. I do daily videos, and so I'm just gonna prepare this one. I'm preparing this one on the same day so that I can just hit upload and actually enjoy my weekend. So yeah, this is a miraculous fan fiction. It's called Runaway. Basically, Lila is Lila is in school and manipulates everyone into thinking that she is the most innocent, kind girl ever. And everyone turns on Marinette to the point where she's depressed and she leaves and runs away. And eventually, Noir has to start taking care of her because of her mental state is that bad. And and after that, they start falling for each other. And yeah. So without further ado, let's get started. Runaway. It was a normal day at school, except Lila had come. She never does. Marinette was smart and observant, even if she thought little of herself. It was true. When she tried to prove it, Lila, or more likely liar, would always twist it. A few weeks later, she had everyone believing she was innocent. Besides Marinette, of course. While in the bathroom, Lila came up to Marinette and punched her from behind. You're the only one not smart enough? You're the only one smart enough to see the lies, she started. Stay away from my new friends, and I won't hurt you. She left Marinette on the floor and kicked her once more just to make sure she got the message. When she came out, Alia, Nino, and Adrian saw her in pain. Oh my god, girl, are you okay? Alia said. Marinette was angry. She clenched her fists. She knew that Lila had everyone fooled, even her best friends. Like you'd believe me. Why didn't you go hang out with innocent old Lila over there? She ran home. The next day, Lila photoshopped the footage and made it seem that Marinette was the one who bullied her. Marinette Dupin Chang, please go to the principal's office, the teacher said. The footage had been shown to the principal and her parents. We are ashamed, her dad said. But it's fake, Marinette tried. And, of course, Lila started fake crying to try and make her seem even more innocent. The next day, she spent the afternoon in the park making designs to clear her head. She saw her best friends with her newfound enemy. She was going to walk up to them and try and tell them the truth, but she was a few steps behind when she heard, I can't believe I was friends with that bully. I'm so sorry, Lila, Adrian said. Yeah, she's such a fake, Alia added. Marinette started tearing up. Hey, guys, Nino said, noticing Marinette. She ran home, went to her room, and started packing. I'm leaving, Tiki, she said, crying. No, Mari, Paris needs Ladybug, Tiki said, worried for her master's mental state and for her health. I'll stay in Paris, in Master Fu's old house. I'll use the money the government gives me to live. She was broken, angry, and sad, the perfect prey for an Akuma. Please calm down, Mari. You'll attract an Akuma. She knew Tiki was right. She can't get Akumatized. Tiki? Spots on. She grabbed her stuff and left out the balcony. She arrived at Master Fu's old house. It's perfect. Since he was the old guardian, it was perfectly hidden and the perfect for any type of Kwami. She opened her ladybug pattern guardian box and, hello everyone, welcome back. You can get out now, she said as the Kwami flew out. Our old home? Trix questioned. I'm sick of being a kid and I'm responsible enough, so... The next day at school, everyone was in class. Hey guys, Max yelled. I wanted to see the rest of the video of Mari bullying Lila, because I wanted to know the context, and maybe we can get Marinette in more trouble, because, like all of you, I thought Lila was the most innocent person ever, and Marinette was so mean. So I asked my dad for security footage, and he held up a screen displaying a video of Lila and Marinette. She lied? Adrian felt a pit in his heart, dug up by guilt. Where's Marinette? We need to tell her how sorry we are, he said immediately after. Just as everyone was planning their apologies, there was an announcement on the school speakers. Hello, Paris. If you have seen a Marinette Dupin Chang, please report to the police immediately. The voice started to describe her. What are they talking about? Alia questions. Right then, Lila walked up. Hi guys, what's up? She said, still pretending to be friendly, as she didn't know that they knew yet. We all know what you did, you liar. Why? Why would you frame the kindest person alive? Adrian said, still feeling the guilt squeezing him inside. Because the merry brat was broken, and I needed to shatter her. I pulled her old records. She has depression and anxiety, and you guys really think you know her. Lila laughed. They were shocked. She was dealing with that on her own, and she never thought to mention it. She was making her way to her seat when Lila, please go to the principal's office. Your mother is here. Miss Bustier said with a disappointed look in her eye. I'm very disappointed. She looked down, ready to give bad news. I'm sure you all heard the announcement, she sighed, and she continued. Marinette has gone missing. According to her parents, she was at the park, then went home without saying a word, and that was the last time she had been seen, Miss Bustier said softly. It was clear the guilt had also affected her. Why? Why did no one believe her? Alia, Nino, and Adrian felt even more guilty, remembering what happened at the park a few days before. Instead of doing classwork, they spent time looking for her, and that's what half the city did for 2 weeks, because all of them either knew about the kind heart of her or about the unfortunate incident. There was an Akuma whilst the class was in the park where Marinette had been seen last. Ladybug and Cat Noir fought the Akuma pretty fast. Pounded. What's wrong, Ladybug? Your eyes are red. Are you okay? You've been crying. Cat Noir was worried. She had never been sad. She was the strongest person she knew, physically and emotionally. I'm fine, she said. But she already knew Cat could tell that she was lying. After all, Cat probably knew her better than anyone at this point. Can you meet me at the Eiffel Tower tonight at 8? She asked hopefully. Anything for you, Bugaboo. He knew, based on what she looked like and what she was saying, he knew she must have been broken to ask him to meet after hours. Later that night at 8 p.m., she was crying on top of the Eiffel Tower. Oh, well, B, what's wrong? He was so worried about her, but she couldn't even make eye contact. I don't want to talk about it. Can you just please stay with me for a bit? She said sadly. So he sat next to her and rubbed her back. Hey, Chat, she started. You'll always be on my side, right? Of course I'll be. Why wouldn't I be? He was so confused. Was she betrayed? So he got a bit closer and continued to rub her back. Normally she would push him away at this point, but she did the opposite. She put her head on his chest. He knew it wasn't comfortable, and he knew all she wanted was someone to be there. And she would be uncomfortable for that. So he lifted her head and crawled behind her. For a split second, she thought he was about to leave, and she was about to start crying again. But There. Now I can protect you, and you'll be comfortable. He sat behind her and placed her head on his chest again. He smiled. So she didn't resist. She laid back her head and picked up his hands and put them around her, and she held his hands. A few minutes later, she fell asleep. Wow, she must be exhausted, he whispered. He laid back and cuddled her. He wasn't comfortable on the outside, but in the inside, he had never felt so warm. Yeah, warm, that was the right word. So he stayed for a few hours before picking her up and taking her to a small cabin he owned, because he was the adrienette graduate after all, and his allowance could pay for, well, more than a few cabins. He knew that this was the perfect way to take care of her and keep their identity secret. A few hours later, she woke up, and she was a bit confused. "Chat, where are we?" she said while rubbing her eyes. "My hunting cabin, and before you worry, it's a bit far from the public, and there's no one who would see us here. And don't worry, I already took care of it. Anything even a little connected to my identity is not here," he said, pouring a cup of tea for her. He realized he kind of kidnapped her while doing so. "Sorry, Bugaboo, I shouldn't have brought you. It's just you were sleeping so comfortably, and I really didn't want to wake you up. But your family's probably worried about you, so you can go if you like," he said, a little sad. She came from behind him and wrapped her arms around his torso. "Huh?" He wasn't about to complain, but he was confused. "You're my only family now. But your extended family, the rest of your family's probably worried about you, so you can leave." A tear rolled down her cheek, and she put her head on his back for a minute. "I'm staying. I don't have much family either." "Looks like we're each other's family," he said whilst turning around and hugging her tightly. She finally smiled. After a few hours, Adrian had to go to school, but he came back, and behind the cabin he transformed. He knocked on the door, and, "Bugaboo, may I come in?" She jumped up and transformed. She opened the door and smiled at him. There's that heartwarming smile. He smiled back. Her smile could light up a whole city. She hugged him, but it felt different. Now that Adrian didn't hold her heart hostage, she realized just how amazing her partner really was. "Hey, chat. Did you really have a crush on me back then, or were you doing your flirty joking?" she asked. "No, I didn't have a crush on you." He paused, just for a bit of dramatic effect. "I still do." That's not past tense. "I know you don't return my feelings, but I can dream, can't..." He was cut off. When she jumped towards him, "I can finally return your feelings then. The guy I liked, I don't think I think of him anymore. It's just that I was such an idiot to not see how amazing you are." She kissed his cheek. "Would you, I know it's kind of straightforward, but would you like it if I was your lady?" she asked, but she didn't make eye contact. Of course. He was so happy that he kissed her, and she didn't resist at all. In fact, she returned his kiss. A few weeks later, everyone was convinced they would not find Marinette. So they started regular class again, but they were still all guilty. Chad and Ladybug continued to live with each other, and they were dating now.